This video is sponsored by Under Lucky Stars. This man is tasked with peacefully reuniting Taiwan. His name is Wang Huning, and he is Xi Jinping's top political advisor and ideology czar. But he is the most cunning man I've ever seen. Really, really evil, and I truly despise him. Welcome to China Insider, I'm David Zhang. Wang Huning is not a name that you have heard of unless you are very versed in Chinese politics, but he is the man behind every major idea from the CCP leadership since the 1990s. Now, if you have a blunt man in Xi Jinping, then you have the behind-the-scenes strategist in Wang Huning. His influence on Xi Jinping is so important for us to know. The extreme left turn that Xi Jinping has undertaken while he's in office is largely attributed to Wang Huning, who is a favorite of a centrally controlled communist China. Though Wang Huning and Xi Jinping come from different political factions, they now seem to be on the same page. The scholar's rise has coincided with Xi Jinping's ever-expanding hardline agenda of growing skepticism of Western ideas and influence. And the restrictions on internet freedom and the revival of so-called capitalizing on Chinese values have been interpreted by the party as the way forward. Right now, Wang Huning is a member of the Politburo Standing Committee, which is the 7-member decision-making body of the CCP. While Wang has come from an academic background being a professor, his real impact and influence on the top echelon of the CCP can be summarized by being the major policy writer for the last 30 years. And he has betrayed pretty much everyone he served, a truly cunning traitor to his former masters. Remember that video of CCP leader Hu Jintao dragged away during the 20th Party Congress? Well, Wang Huning is the one on the side that stopped another top official from doing anything. He switched 3 masters, not clearly aligned with any factions, it seems, just interest. He served as a political and ideology advisor for 3 generations of the CCP leadership, from Jiang Zemin back in the 90s to Hu Jintao in the early 10s and to Xi Jinping. And there, the so-called political ideas that they each have, like Xi Jinping's thoughts, Zhang's 3 represents, and Hu's scientific outlook on development, they were all written by Wang Huning. So you can say that he's their ghostwriter for every political thought. And I pin many of the policy directions that actually destroy China onto Wang Huning himself. He's earned the title, the nickname, political makeup artist. Basically, he's able to take somebody who doesn't have a political idea, get them to believe his idea, and then packaging it into something nice to say. And now, Xi Jinping's so-called rising East, falling West concept, where they think that the West is fallen, has fallen, and that China can overpower them, as well as all the slogans like the community of common destiny for all mankind, these are words crafted by Wang Huning to create an illusion. And that is, Xi Jinping's China is prosperous and will lead the world. Now, this has largely fooled Xi Jinping into believing that a hardline left-turn policy, right, return to the purebred communism like Mao Zedong, and total state control is the way to dominate over Western ideas of freedom. However, Wang has failed to tell Xi Jinping, I think intentionally, that the flaws of Western society's so-called downfall, it's actually a reflection of its greater abilities to rejuvenate, to achieve, and to generate a success, such as things like technology innovation, something China can't do under communism, higher standards of living, rise from nothing to everything, religious freedom, ability to vote, freedom of speech, and so much more. These are things that Wang Huning has deliberately avoided telling Xi Jinping because he thinks that by packaging together those positive ideas of Western democracy and values, they can be seen as a sign of weakness to Xi and help him be more determined to go the path that Wang Huning has set him out to be. And now, Wang Huning is the head of the so-called Taiwan Re-Unification Task Force, where he is able to formulate a plan to conquer Taiwan without firing a shot. Back in January this year, Nikkei Asia's Katsuki Nakazawa revealed that Xi Jinping has tasked Wang Huning with writing a strategy fit for Xi's rule that would be able to take Taiwan without firing a shot. And this so-called reunification organization, which Wang Huning now heads, was actually set up in 1988 by then-leader Deng Xiaoping. And it consisted mainly of non-Communist Party members with the mission of uniting overseas Chinese, including those in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. Now, this is clearly the tie of the CCP's United Front Work Department, which is, again, one of the 3 magical weapons the Mao Zedong and every CCP leadership values. Right? It's what helped them to defeat the KMT and to take over power. So they believe that it has the ability to co-opt foreign groups in Taiwan and to gather influence. Wang Huning is also the top official sitting on the CCP's United Front organization, called the People's Political Consultative Conference. And now we know that however many of these so-called one country, two system ideas can be promoted, just look at Hong Kong, it doesn't work. They're no longer autonomous. But the question is then, why would Xi Jinping task Wang Huning to be in charge of a peace reunification plan when it clearly everybody knows or seems to know that Taiwan will resist or reject? Well, before I talk about it, let me introduce my sponsor for today's video. Are you looking to shop for a unique anniversary or birthday gift for your loved ones? Or are you looking to give a special day an everlasting remembrance? Well, then consider checking out Under Lucky Star. They make star maps, and these showcase the unique constellation above a place and date that's important to you. And it could be your wedding date, your birthday, or a special memory in general. All you have to do is use the link in the description and go enter the event date and name, and it will automatically locate the night sky of that particular time. And then you can choose a frame and background, which will match your home style, and it will be custom made to your liking in 3 different sizes. And they're actually verified by a NASA astronomer, so they're accurate. And they also offer shipping worldwide. So check out Under Lucky Star, link in the description and comment below. It turns out Wang Huning has studied Taiwan and America extensively. He traveled to the United States in the 80s to observe American society and has done exchanges in Taiwan too. In particular, in America, he traveled across the country observing the economic model of the American way of life, capitalism, and then he wrote a book called America Against America. Now, in the book, he detailed the downfall of America because he views these are the reasons, such as drugs, neoliberal values, and systemic problems. But instead of viewing these points as the problems that persist in American societies, Wang Huning actually was able to transform these problems into points to attack America. So he strategized and weaponized it. Now, his understanding of the weakness of the democratic form of government is actually what the CCP leadership values, because they want to create an alternative, either that's a world order or something of a governance to that of the Western ideas. And that's why Xi Jinping tasked him to formulate this plan, which targets the weak spots of the Taiwanese society. Now, while Xi Jinping appears to be tough to the ruling government in Taiwan, that is President Tsai Ing-wen's DPP, Wang Huning, on the other hand, is making the sugar-coated attempt to co-opt the other parties just in case those parties win in 2024 in the upcoming Taiwan presidential election, which is next January. If they don't win, then obviously they might resort to the military invasion. But what exactly would Wang Huning's plan look like? Well, it will be packaging together a strategy that downplays or eliminates the sovereignty of the Republic of China or its government. And it will put forth a recommendation that on paper leaves some residual autonomy, but in reality is ruled by mainland patriots, just like how Hong Kong is now ruled. And under the Hong Kong version of the national security law, we know that it punishes and eliminates anything that essentially opposes the ruling voices, which comes from Beijing. And so when it comes to Taiwan, the plan is to insert people into the military slowly, as well as into the government and different parts of society, try to get into key positions of the political parties that will raise their voice against Taiwan, or to be more pro-China. And the issue is that the peaceful reunification facade doesn't work already with those who understands the nature of the CCP. But many in Taiwan, especially the older generations, they have much more ties with mainland China. So many of them hold wishful thinkings that a reunification may not be that bad, especially when they use these points to try to trigger their feelings of longing for their homeland, and these kind of things amplifying this type of thoughts, the CCP could capture a lot of influence in Taiwan. Wang Huning has been able to revolve his words and craft policies of the time. As many have pointed out, the CCP's United Front work with Taiwan has seen a great deal of adjustment and evolution, and the information warfare has also evolved. In the past, we saw content farms producing new and raw propaganda pieces, but now the content farms have evolved, disguised as general lifestyles, such as to try to create an attraction toward China. Things like hiking or going to movies, and then suddenly you get a softer political propaganda message. And so it's not necessarily completely negative, it's dynamic, and that's the goal here. It's to create a long-term cognitive change in the Taiwanese people. Now, the Chinese Communist Party's attempt to unify Taiwan, of course, is going to end with the annexation of 23 million free people, and that is also a clear violation, or we could say that trying to destroy the contradiction to that of mainland China. Right, you have an island the size of Maryland and its democratic form of government, and then you have the clear opposite, that is totalitarianism. And that's what they're trying to destroy, much like what they did with Hong Kong. So this peace plan is only useful if the CCP views that there is an alternative way to that of a military invasion. And it's sort of like a last attempt to play nice, but I don't think Xi Jinping wants to resort to a military invasion if he can take Taiwan peacefully. And so that's why Wang Huning is the one he picked to choose to write up that formula. But this is much harder now post Hong Kong 2019, right? Many people woke up to the lies and the deceptions of the CCP slogans. Many people in the United States and elsewhere also realized that one country, two system is never going to work. So these are things not applicable to Taiwan, but I still believe that the CCP views values in the eyes of especially Xi Jinping and Wang Huning to try for that plan. But either way, I hope that the Taiwanese people and everyone around the world can see through the lies of Wang Huning and realize what they're trying to do here is, again, to take Taiwan. And that's it for today's episode. If you enjoy the content, leave a like and comment below your thoughts on Wang Huning. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, I'm David Zhang. This is China Insider. We'll see you next time.